I picked up this dresser for free from my local community Facebook page. In my opinion, it is a perfect blank canvas. Structurally solid, there's no standout problems, and it has plenty of potential. Let's see if we can't bring a little sexy back. Designed in the mid-60s by a company called Stag, this is made from macaw wood, otherwise known as African cherry. It was arguably the best-selling bedroom furniture range ever in the UK. So I imagine many of my UK viewers may be familiar with this style. It has some beautiful features that aren't really being showcased as well as they could be, and I think with a tasteful refinish, some new hardware, and some good vibes, we can see this dresser stand tall and proud in someone's home. I'm going to start by removing all the old finish. I'll use my carbide scraper on the curved edges and use a stripper on all of the flat surfaces. I also use the scraper to get in nice and close on the edge here. Before I apply stripper, I always go over the surface with 80 grit sandpaper. I find this gives the stripper a good head start. I also ensure that I go in the direction of the grain and wipe off any dust before applying the stripper. I apply a generous amount and let it sit for around 20 minutes. You can see this stripper has been very effective, and fortunately the piece won't require too much sanding. The wood underneath this dark finish is stunning. I use some fine steel wool to remove the stripper and finish from the corners. It works a treat. I then use white spirit to clean off any excess and deactivate the stripper. You could also use soapy water for this. I then lightly sand with 180 grit sandpaper before calling it a day and letting the piece breathe a little. and today we prepare this dresser for its new look. I use a pre-stain wood conditioner, and this will ensure a more uniform absorption of the wood stain by reducing blotching and spotting. I apply it with a foam brush and let it absorb for about 5 minutes before removing any excess. I let it dry for about 30 minutes and lightly sand with 240 grit just to knock off any of the raised grain. You can see the drawer fronts are made of a few different pieces of wood. The original finish was intentionally hiding this, but I love it and I really want to highlight it, so I'm going to use stain to make it pop. Here is another example, and instead of hiding it under a dark stain, I really want to make a feature of it. So I'm going to use this walnut stain on these areas and leave the rest natural, as once the hard oil is applied, the red tones of the macaw will really pop. This should create a really nice contrast and give the piece an elegant look. You can see my last line here isn't super straight, so I can fix that with some 240 grit sandpaper. To avoid wonky lines on some of these larger drawer fronts, I'm going to use some painter's tape to keep them straight. I'm going to stain the top, but I want to leave this front part natural. I was a little unsure of how this would look once finished, and I did contemplate staining it afterwards. But it's grown on me, and I've left it as is. Let me know what you would have done in the comments. Applying the finishing coat is generally quite satisfying, but boy did I enjoy this one. The grain was amazing, the shimmer, the colour, what a combo. I think African cherry is one of my favourites, just delicious. Just before I show you the hardware that I chose, I will quickly show you all the tools and products I needed for this piece. I used half a bottle of stripper applied with a brush and removed with a scraper. You could get by without a carbide scraper, but it is probably my best investment to date. I used half a cup of white spirit, a quarter of a bottle of both the wood conditioner and stain. Sponges and brushes in a variety of sizes are a cheap and useful product to have on hand. I finished with hard oil wax. I've done about 5 projects with this tin, so it goes a long way. And if you don't want to buy cloths, just rip up an old t-shirt. I'll leave a link to all of these products in the description. These pulls are from the same range in the same finish. I love the shape of these, so I decided to use these on the 2 larger drawer fronts. I used some tape to make a hole placement template, a reasonably reliable way for an accurate result. I'll take this opportunity to thank you very much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this video, or perhaps been inspired to transform a tied piece in your home, I'd really appreciate a like, comment, maybe even a cheeky subscribe. I appreciate every single one of you and thank you very much for all of your support. Let's see how this thing turned out. Until next time, take it easy.